few moments to turn our attention to the interview that I had with Dr. Margaret McKenzie, who is the president of South Pointe Hospital here in the community of Warrensville Heights, Ohio. And here's the interview with her.
There?
I said, how do we get from being concerned about vaccine access in the community to vaccine hesitancy in the community? How did we get here?
So my view, and this is not the Cleveland Clinic's view, this is Margaret's view, is that I think that the national rhetoric, okay, really, particularly the political rhetoric, helped to frame where we ended up after realizing we could have access. And I do believe, I remember one of my patients coming and saying to me, when the vaccine was first coming out, it is a novel vaccine, meaning it's a new vaccine. It's a new way of making your body develop immunity to the virus. And because of the newness, and someone from a national organization, probably the CDC, one of the doctors said, well, I think that the African American community needs to be vaccinated first. And I think it was that created fear because of the history in this country around perceived experimentation that created the fear that they were going to be the experiment, as opposed to looking at it and saying the reason they were asking that African Americans get vaccinated first is because we learned, particularly from New York, that most of the people who were getting the sickest and dying were African Americans. And because the rates of death among African Americans was so high, they really wanted to try to get the highest risk group people vaccinated first. But that was misperceived by the public because of the national rhetoric.
And I can see how that could be turned around and just flipped in 1,000 different ways to make somebody's point that they want to make to suit their own agenda. Early on we had Dr. Modlin come and speak to our congregation one Sunday morning. That was back in February. So as a church, we've always been on board. We've always believed in the science. And a few days ago, I watched a video with Dr. Corbett and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, NBA legend, and we all know his love for the community, and he's one of the he's one of the trusted voices. And Dr. Corbett asked him, how did you decide to get the vaccine? And he said, and his response was, I have two sons. One is a medical director at a health institution. The other one is a doctor. And they told me that when the vaccine comes out and it's your turn, make sure you get the vaccine. So my question is, it seems like you are right here in the community and we have access to you. But it seems like most of our people either don't have access to you or the other doctors at South Pointe, or they prefer to read and listen on the internet to people who they don't know. So you're right here in our backyard, and I don't know how many young people from the community have come by the hospital and said, may I speak to the doctor, someone who can be trusted. Mm-hmm. We don't have someone who could be trusted, but we take somebody's word who we don't know from the internet. How you square that?
I think that I still think that we had opportunity to really be out there going from door to door. But we were really caught up in the hospital trying to care for the patients as they were coming in, to do the preparation, to keep the staff apprised of all of the things that were necessary to care for patients. And I do think maybe we did lose an opportunity to be out there knocking on every door. What I did tell a lot of our patients is every single doctor in this hospital, they were the first to get this vaccination. And even with the boosters, they already have gotten their vaccination, even though it hasn't, that part of the plan hasn't unfolded yet fully. They've all gone to CVS and other places to get their vaccination. I think that underscores that if the doctors who are taking care of patients, who see it every day and volunteer to be the first in line, understanding the science, I think that that would be enough of an example to say you really should get this vaccination. There are times that I have walked through an intensive care unit with tears in my eyes because I've seen so many people who were in ventilators, some of whom have never made it off. They passed away. And in addition to that, there was a time in this challenge where the rates of death were so high that even our morgues couldn't even hold, patients. We had to get some refrigerated trucks to put bodies in. So I think that being afraid of side effects, every single thing we do has side effects. Your food has side effects, right? The air we breathe has got side effects. I think when you're thinking about having a vaccine that'll help you to fight the virus better than if you weren't vaccinated, I think should be at the forefront of everybody's plan. So.
I know that one of the reasons that I wanted to walk in the community with you was that as I had access to the vaccine and had access to the codes that were given to many of the pastors to pass out in the community, and so my team and I went door to door, and we got a lot of affirmative responses, but we also got a lot of pushback, mostly from the barbershops. They basically told me that they were not going to take the vaccine at all, and it kind of saddened me because I knew that if they could talk, I would assume that in this country a lot of young women of color have at least an OB/GYN doctor like you are, but many of our young men probably don't see a doctor until they in their 40s, maybe 50s, and so they really don't have a trusted partner in the medical field that they could ask. So I guess the they get the information from wherever they get it from, and I think that is killing us.
Yes, and also, sadly enough, some of us have to be like Thomas, right? Like doubting Thomas. Mm-hmm. We want to see the evidence, and the evidence sometimes is a family member who passes away from COVID. And that becomes the compelling reason for them to go and get the vaccination. And the bottom line is, I would ask people to not do that, because we've already, I think most of us who have known someone who has been affected by the vaccination in a negative way either has the long COVID syndrome or have died. And I definitely feel as though we're seeing more coming to the fore to get vaccinated, but there's still a significant number of high-risk people who look like us who are not being vaccinated, and the urge is to really try to get them to see and not wait until somebody in their family goes down or a friend for them to say, okay, I'm going to get the vaccination. I think we've had enough numbers across the world of people who've been vaccinated to know the safety profile is better than probably the food we're eating and the air we're breathing. So I'm going to urge folks to really go ahead and get a vaccination.
Well, we've come to the end of our interview, and it's been a joy and a delight to have you, Dr. McKenzie, and we look forward to continuing to partner with you. We're your next door neighbor, of course, here at Aldersgate, and we appreciate the partnership that we have. Any final thoughts?
Thank you, Reverend. I know that South Pointe Hospital and the workers who are here value having you as our neighbor, and I would like to continue collaborating around projects for the community regarding wellness and health. And so as we go forward, we are going to be including you in our, we have a community wellness task force, and we're about to launch many programs, and we definitely will include you and your congregation so that we could go around in this work of transforming our community to a healthy community. And I thank you for your leadership as a man of God to help to address every aspect of the health of your church, not just its spiritual health. So I appreciate that. If there's anything that you need or any members need, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
All right. God bless.
Thanks, Reverend. God bless you too.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye.
I do the same.